President Joe Biden said Thursday that he wants the Israeli military to focus on saving civilian lives as it wages its campaign to eliminate Hamas and faces increasing pressure over its military operations in Gaza, following a speech on prescription drug prices at National Institutes of Health. The president was asked if he wanted Israeli government to reduce its attacks on Hamas as it fights in Gaza. "I want them to focus on how to save civilian lives. Don't stop going after Hamas, but be more careful," Biden responded. Biden's national security advisor will meet with senior Israeli officials over next 2 days as the White House pushes Israelis to be more decisive in their operations against Hamas in Gaza. Jake Sullivan told Israeli broadcaster Channel 12 News on Thursday evening that he had an intense, detailed conversation with Israel's prime minister and war cabinet about moving from a high-intensity phase to a more targeted approach. Sullivan's visit comes amid a public rift between Biden and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over rising civilian casualties in Gaza and disagreements about what the future of Palestinians should look like after combat operations end. Sullivan will also discuss efforts to free 8 American hostages held by Hamas. Sullivan met with Netanyahu on Thursday and is set to meet with other senior Israeli officials, including President Isaac Herzog, by Friday. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said Thursday that Sullivan discussed transitioning Israel's offensive against Hamas to low-intensity operations in the near future. Kirby said Sullivan asked tough questions about the Israeli attack, including efforts to be more surgical and precise in targeting, and Sullivan expressed the imperative to move on to a new phase of the conflict that has killed thousands of civilians in Gaza. He talked about the possibility of transitioning from what we call high-intensity operations, which we see them doing now, to lower-intensity operations in the near future. Kirby said, "I will say we had a very constructive conversation about these phases and how to think about transitioning from high intensity to a different phase of warfare," Sullivan said later Thursday. He declined to provide further details about a possible timeframe. The Biden administration has signaled Israel that it wants Israel to move into a lower intensity phase of its war against Hamas within weeks, possibly by the end of the year. According to a senior U.S. official, the United States hopes a new phase will minimize the increasing number of civilian deaths in Gaza that have sparked international outrage. CNN reported last week that U.S. officials expect current phase Israel's ground invasion, targeting the southern tip of Gaza Strip, to last several weeks before Israel transitions to a lower intensity, hyper-localized strategy narrowly targeting specific targets, possibly by January. Hamas militants and leaders, the official said United S.